Incredible greetings, creatives. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. How are you guys doing? All right, let's get this all shared out so we can get started. If you are watching the playback of this, if you are watching the playback of this is a live broadcast. Therefore, we don't jump right into it. We have to wait for, oh, and there's one of my notifications now. We have to wait for the notifications to go out so that we're not talking to, no one. So just bear with me on this. You know what I'll do? I will find one of my old overlays and put that on the screen. Don't want to do challenge the professor. I mean, today we do have a design challenge in our creative lounge, but I wanted the one that just said live video. But once that, well, I guess we have creative talk, but all right, here we go. That one, that's what I was looking for. Once you see this go away, if you're watching the playback of this, that is where I have shared everything out and we are officially getting started. So if you decide that you want to jump ahead to that point, by all means, do so. If you are watching the playback of this, feel free to still engage with us, ask questions. There are times where when we don't get a lot of questions within the live starting off, I can start with questions that were on previous videos. I try to keep a running list of questions that we see. So even if you are watching the playback, still engage with us, still, comment, let us know where you are watching from, let us know what you do in the creative space. And if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and post them, okay? Make sure that you are subscribed, give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, share it to your page or group. All of that digital currency and digital love definitely helps push the platform. If you love what we do here and the help and information that we provide, help keep us motivated to continue to do this by pushing the platform forward, okay? So I'm going to now focus on getting this all shared out. I see a few people have said hello over on YouTube. Just give me a moment and I will properly greet you guys. So just have to edit my audience here and also get it all shared out. All right, almost done. Okay. Alrighty, let's get this. Alrighty, put this in my group. All right, there we go. We are all shared out. All shared out. All shared out. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Be safe out there. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. How are you guys doing? All right, I gotta move some things over. I probably shouldn't have closed that out, but it's okay. All righty. There we go. So, hello, hello again, once again, everybody officially. Welcome in. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Ink 365, home of the Honesty Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation paper and ink. Our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. No cover paper is required for most applications. You can check out our product line. It is still currently, you have like about a week left. We don't typically run Black Fridays, Cyber Monday sales, so you have like a week left to take advantage of our lowest price of the season, in which you get $10 off of every single pack of paper that you order. And even if you get the bundles, $10 is taken off of the bundles as well, and even the cases. All right. We also are the home of 365 Creative Academy, where we help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of classes and trainings and different programs that we have. You name it, I probably have taught a class on it in some way, shape, or form. And Silhouettes Anonymous, and that is our online, our free online platform where we have been teaching you how to use and master Silhouette Studio. That is the main program that I do teach, because it is free to everyone to use. Whether you have a machine or not, you are able to utilize Silhouette Studio as a design software, as a place to print from if you are designing in a program like Canva and you designed it to the exact size. Not sure if you guys know or not, but when you go into Canva and you design, if you just save that as a JPEG, PNG, and you go to print that out, it is not going to print correctly. You take that design, you save it or download it, and then you need to either bring that back into Canva on the correct page size that you're going to print to, or you need to open that up inside of a program that has the page size set so that it comes out to be the right size. So not sure if you guys know that or not. I mean, there are some really good design features to Canva, but when it comes to printing, there are some extra steps that you have to take. If you have ever experienced sizing issues once printed and you were using Canva to design, raise your hand. All right. But we teach Silhouette Studio, great platform. Of course, you have to bring everything in. It's not like Canva where there is a built-in database of elements, but you can have access to those same elements like through Creative Fabrica and just downloading things from online and just utilizing them. But we also, I personally use a lot of Adobe products, meaning mainly, Jesus, Photoshop and Illustrator. So if you have questions, I don't necessarily teach Illustrator like that, but like Photoshop, we have had essentials of Photoshop. So if you have Photoshop questions, Canva, Silhouette, or just design in general, this session is dedicated to all questions related to designing, sizing, whether it's tracing, placement, things of that nature. So go ahead, flood the chat with all of your questions. After you say hello and let me know where you're watching from and what you do in the creative space, flood the chat with your questions in regards to designing. If you are someone who is struggling in some way, shape, or form with design, like I said, if it is sizing when it comes to print, if things are coming out all kind of wonky and funky, this is the time for you to receive help. Even if you're not able to like be on your computer and do it right now, this is why we have playbacks of this, but you want to at least get your question on the live videos that you have something to go back to and watch it and, and fix it on your end. Okay. So let's see. I'm not sure where we were. I think here, that's my city girl, period. Hello, Valerie. Thank you for tapping in. Hello from California. Thank you for joining us, Linda. How are you? Make sure that you guys are giving this video a thumbs up. When you leave a comment, that helps push the algorithm. That lets Facebook, that lets YouTube know that, hey, this is content that we actually enjoy watching, and others will too. So go ahead. Shakia has over 36,000 on one YouTube channel, 26,000 on another. What about 12,000 followers? So, hey, we should not have 4 or 5 people on here. Make sure that you are actually pushing her content out to the people that have hit follow, the people that have hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. But they are slow to do that if you guys don't come into the live video, commenting, liking the video. If you're watching over on YouTube, you have to click out of the live chat in order to give the video a thumbs up. When you guys hit share, even if you just copy link, it lets them know that, hey, her audience is alive and well. They want to see her content. So let's make sure that we are sending it to them. So you guys can just help me out by leaving a comment. Even if you drop some hearts in the chat, drop some peacocks, emojis, like, the little, emojis, like, in the chat. All of that helps. Even if you don't have a question, help out the algorithm. That way, the person that does have a question, the person that has been waiting for someone to come and help them and save them, they are able to see this video and get the help that they need. Even if you don't need or don't desire any help right now, help a fellow crafter, help a fellow creative get the help that they need by pushing the algorithm of this live broadcast. Okay. How are you guys doing today? You're doing good. I am good as well. I am incredible. Okay, let me see over here. I'm good. I'm listening and heading into town. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that you'll just be listening today. Hopefully we have, not everyone is just being a listener today, and we do have some people on the live that need some help and assistance when it comes to designing, whether it is Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, or Canva questions. All right. Oh, well, I mean, I don't want it to be a lot of dead air. So that means everybody that is listening, you are thriving in your designing, your crafting, your creating. You are not having sizing issue, whether it be for tables, DTF, sublimation, ornament, shirts, rags, tumblers. What else do you guys create? Like cutouts, fans. There's no design questions whatsoever. You guys are thriving. You are doing excellent in your designing. You are figuring it out. You're getting your designs done in a timely manner. You don't have to you're not sitting there like, oh man, you're not clicking on stuff trying to figure out, is it subtract, is it crop, is it slice, is it this? That means that each and every one of you are thriving in your designing. Okay, I'm trying to learn Photoshop. So what are some of the things that you desire to create in Photoshop? I don't understand what is mask or masking. Are you referring to? Well, I'm guessing I said we're talking about designing. So, because I was going to say when you're doing like printable transfers and stuff, they call that a mask. So in designing, masking simply means, what does a mask do? It means to cover something up. So you can mask something off by putting like I call it a fade mask. That's one of the things that we sell on our website, so that you kind of create like a faded bottom. You can mask off by putting an object in front of it, or words and things of that nature, so that it doesn't look like a cut off like bottom edge, and things of that nature. So masking just means to cover up. Let's see here. I'm going to go into my library and let's go fade. I'll just bring in a purple one. Okay, what is going on with the... So it's still doing this craziness from last night. Oh, man. It's still acting up. And I moved so much stuff yesterday, too. And it's still acting up. Okay, hold on. Let's close out real quick. Okay, well, are you gonna behave now? All right, so 8.5. We had a live Q&A. We had our pro call session last night. All right, so let's go there. Let's open up. Let's see. Open. Well, mine is only doing this because it's not all connected. My hard drive is completely full right now. Like if I was to go over here to my hard drive, you'll see that it is red and I need to clear some things out. It's because I've been doing a lot. We had a lot of classes last month, and we're talking anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hour classes, and all of those videos are still on my hard drive. So until I'm able to move all of them over, this looks kind of crazy, but this is why mine is kind of acting slow. Check your hard drive. If your hard drive is full, you need to start to clear it out so that your programs work better. Actually, let's see. That's probably going to take forever to open. So let's go over here to downloads. Okay, so let's say if I opened up John Amos. I'm going to also open up that one other picture that was on the side. If you are just hopping on, please do not hesitate to post your questions. You don't have to wait for me to finish answering one question to post yours. If the questions are already in the queue, that just helps so that we don't have dead air. So go ahead and post your questions and things like that, okay? It's okay. I'm just now kind of going through it. All right. So masking basically means to cover up. It's what a mask does. It just means to cover up. It can be where you want something, like if you're using our P&G fade mask, it's to fade something off or to cover something up. You can also use masking with letters or like words or shapes to cover up the bottom of something. So most people, you guys know, I do not like when images have a straight cut off, and like, let's say you're putting on something and it's sitting in the middle of, let's say like a memorial design, and the bottom is just cut off. That drives me absolutely bonkers. So you can mask that off. It doesn't take away those pixels. When you are using the mask, the background color has to match. So look him over here. We're going to go ahead and paste. I'm going to duplicate him. So let's say I was creating something like this, right? The background, for now, I'm just going to make it blue. I'm going to send it to the back. Now, I can have this where it's going to look like blue and purple. So it gives it kind of a fade, whether the blue is fading into the purple or purple is fading into blue. I'm going to send this to the back, select and copy, paste in front. Remove the color, hold down shift, click, and crop that inside. So right now, like I said, this now gives the illusion of purple into blue, blue into purple. Now, if I were to take, let's move this down some because that's a large file. If I were to take John Amos and bring him down to like here, it'll start to look like, you don't see as much of the sharp line, but he's kind of a short. I mean, it wasn't a large picture. So let's say if I only brought it down to like here, I would need to use this fade again and do multiple of them to kind of, and I could shrink it down, bring this up. The next one, I'm going to shrink it down just so that it doesn't go up too high on his face. So that's a form of masking. I'm masking that off so that you don't see that sharp line. But I can also mask it off by going John. Let's put it in all caps. Going to fill this in with black. So of course, this is so like this, they're all spread out, you would still see it. Then you would do things like adding offsets to it so that it would close off. So let's say if I did 1, and I'll make that white, we can still kind of sort of see areas in here. I can either make that bigger or I can add another offset to this. And let's say we made that the same like blue. It's masking off the bottom. That's all that it means, is to cover up. And even if this was a different color, it still would cover up that area. and you're not sitting there with something just cut off sitting in the middle of a design. Hopefully that answers your question. And if this was like a background, which I'm not going to do him like that, like this, and you were to put the fade, it gives you color, but it doesn't like, it's not isolated to just his image. So it in this sense, in how it would work in Silhouette Studio, how it would work in Canva, it's just kind of a cover up. Now in Photoshop, it's called a vector mask, and that is, it puts another box on the other side of it, and you can truly brush away pixels and have them masked off, and almost like they've disappeared, where you don't have to have another color to cover it up. So it just really depends on the program that you are referring to. You're very welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Any other questions? Now, I don't want to have to be on here pulling teeth to get y'all to ask questions. I didn't know you can do stuff like this. I only use the program to print. Oh no, you can design all sorts of things. That's what I've literally been teaching, how to create designs in Silhouette Studio for 11 years now. I had one up on the screen. I was showing them because they were asking questions about the fan that I did, which now I actually have to do another set because her son is going to the Super Bowl. She actually just texted me this morning. I'm just waiting on those pictures. So in Photoshop, okay, so this is why you guys, and I'm asking questions, if you are very, very clear. Now, the silhouette one definitely helps someone else, because they didn't know that we can do all of these things. So kind of a good thing that you didn't say Photoshop and whatnot, but in Photoshop, it's still just a cover up. So when you add that vector mask to that layer and it puts the box, all you're doing is either brushing it away or bringing it back to remove areas. That's all it is, where it's not permanently gone. If you use an eraser, those pixels are gone. If you're using the mask, you can always use the brush tool to bring it back. Black conceals, white reveals. So if everywhere like there's black and there's like, let's say there's a background, it's going to remove it. But you can take a brush and you can brush back over that with white and it will bring that area back. All right, just waiting for this to open up. I am one of the T, huh? So I am just trying to open. Mine is acting kind of slow. I have to clear out my hard drive because I have a bunch of videos from our classes where I record them for the playbacks. I have a bunch of them that I need to move over to the hard drive. I just have not been able to do so just yet. So it's moving a little bit slower than it would normally do because of my hard drive space. But feel free to ask your questions. This, if you are just hopping on, this is a design only Q&A help session. So any questions that you have in regards to understanding how to use a design program, if you have questions or you're trying to figure out which design program is going to be best for you, and you just kind of have, you have a few questions about, one or the other or a few of them, feel free to ask. If you have questions about different tools and functions, whether it's Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Canva, feel free to post those questions. This is your time to get clarity, to get help on the questions that you have, the things that are frustrating you in your craft journey, in your creative journey, the things that are becoming roadblocks where you're just like, man, I can't figure this out. If it's sizing, if it's placement, if it's how to crop, where to find, all questions on designs or on designing, you are able to ask during this session. Okay. I don't want to have to pull teeth. I'll probably ask one more time. If we don't see questions, we'll go ahead and just end the live video, okay? Hello. I've always come and went on here because I had no cutter. My question, can I use Silhouette Studio with a Cricut cutter? You cannot use it directly with a Cricut cutter. However, you can design. When you guys are getting SVGs, whether it's in, whether it's like in Cricut's library of designs, if you download them, they're not designing those in Cricut Design Space because you cannot save anything as an SVG in Cricut Design Space. They are designed in a separate program like Silhouette Studio, like Adobe Illustrator, like Corel Draw, like Inkscape, like I think even with like Photopea, there's a aspect to that. Affinity Designer, things like that. You're designing it in a vector. It's called a vector-based program. It's based off of lines and shapes and paths so that things like cutting machines, laser cutters, 3D, well, not 3D, not 3D, CNC routers, they have a path to follow. So what you are able to do is use Silhouette Studio as a standalone graphic designing software. You do not need a machine in order to use the program. You can use it to create designs. If you get Business Edition, it's a little bit easier for you to save those designs as long as it does not have pictures as SVGs. Then you can take that SVG, open it up in Cricut Design Space, and be able to cut it. A lot of people kind of shy away from learning Silhouette because it's like, oh my God, I don't want to have to use two systems. Well, professional designers are using a separate system. They're not designing in Cricut Design Space because it does not have the ability to save. You open yourself up to more design possibilities when you're using a more robust designing software like Silhouette Studio, Illustrator, Affinity Designer, Corel Draw, things of that nature. Okay. If you're wanting to do a print and cut, then you can save it as a JPEG or even a PNG. It's not really my favorite when it comes to PNG, but you can save it as those and then bring it over into Cricut Design Space to be able to do a print and cut. There are several people that create templates that can be used for Canva. So they will create them and they'll call them Canva templates and things of that nature. Depending on how it was set up, you can take those PDF files, as long as you have Design Edition or above, you can open that in Silhouette Studio. You cannot open up PDF files in Cricut Design Space. So there are a lot of benefits to downloading the free version and maybe considering upgrading to one of the Designer, Designer Plus, or Business Edition versions of Silhouette Studio, okay? So let me see, where is it? Oh, it's down here. So here are some, this is a cave that I did. It ended up being like a little fan. So being able to do all of this in Silhouette Studio, the full setup, all of this was done in Silhouette Studio. We're actually going over photo collages in the Creative Lounge for our design challenges this month. We actually have a design challenge today. Still trying to debate on which one we're going to do first. Ornaments, cropping letters to, cropping images or photo collages to letters and numbers, or sizing and designing for the TV trays. Okay. Me and Photoshop, just not friends. I got to start from the Barbie basics. Well, that's where our essentials of Photoshop comes in at. I am someone, so let me just kind of let you guys know about me as far as how I teach. I don't rush to designs. When you rush to designing, this is where a lot of confusion comes in because you don't take the time to truly learn the tools and functions and how they operate, how they're going to affect the design. What do you have to do X, Y, and Z? This is why I teach the way that I teach. All of my essentials are about teaching you the program, not design. We have dedicated classes for designs. Now we do get into a little bit of like, designing. You can't really teach it without doing a little bit. We don't do like full on start to finish designing. We'll do little things here and there so that you understand how the tools and functions work. It's the best way. My students thrive because they get that foundation first. A lot of people will say they have classes. Oh, they're going to teach you Canva. They're going to teach you Photoshop. They're going to teach you this. And they go straight into a design. And as a beginner, you don't it's like speaking a foreign language. You don't understand what these tools are. Then you feel like, man, they're moving too fast. I'm never going to get this because they're just clicking on something. You didn't really see where the mouse went to click it. Our classes are designed to allow you to click on it. You're going to work with, okay, we're going to click here. We're going to bring this. Do you see what that does? Okay, now if you do this, you see what this is doing. Okay, this did this because you did this. Now, if you have this and this is what happens. That is how I teach in my essential classes. We have essentials to Photoshop, essentials to Silhouette Studio. We also have like kind of like even essentials to like designing or just learning design techniques. But those two are, it's where it's at. I have one coming up for Canva. We are going to have Canva 101 next week, Monday, in the Creative Lounge. Okay, I'm a square box person. So I'm looking at designs that have a simple outline because a complex outline would be difficult to cut. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So you're saying something like this to you would be difficult to cut? And what is it that you're trying to cut for? Is it that you're wanting to cut HTV? Are you trying to cut like printable transfers? Are you trying to cut stickers? Give me a little bit more on what it is that you're wanting to do. All right, so let me go back up because I had to kind of filter through how your question was broken up. Okay, I have a question about the Silhouette Bachelors of Science. If you have already taken the 30-day course, would this be a good course to purchase to help build your design skills? Yes, it will, because it's about designs. That's where we go into bringing these tools and functions together into various designs. Yes. I want to start doing teas with sublimation. That is awesome. So you can do that by learning to design in Silhouette Studio, or if you're not quite there with kind of putting together your own designs, you can use Silhouette Studio as a way to properly size your designs. Get templates and, you're just going to do t-shirts. So templates for like tumblers, ornaments, and things like that wouldn't really be a major issue for you right now because you're just trying to do t-shirts. But something like even this fan, I was actually showing them this last night. Did I delete it? I think I did. I actually had this on a shirt. So most people will look at this and think, okay, it's just for a fan. Anything that can be printed can be put on a shirt as well. So just because I designed it originally, if they decided that they wanted to add her name in school to the bottom and put senior night or sophomore night and put that on the shirt, guess what? I already have the main design that has the pictures. I just have to add text around it, or I can put just that K on a t-shirt. There are no specific types of designs for sublimation or for t-shirts and things of that nature. It just depends on the method that you are using to decorate that garment. You're very welcome. I want to learn how to turn a picture into rhinestone templates. Where would I design that? That is something that you would do. Silhouette Studio can sort of help you, but you will have to use an outside program depending on the image. When it comes to photographs of Black people, right? There's not enough contrast a lot of the times between certain facial features because of the darker skin tone. So you're going to have to utilize photo editing software to really ramp up those darker areas and kind of pull back the lighter ones so that you can then trace it. So if I wanted to take her face and turn it into like rhinestones, there's not enough contrast between her skin and the color of her hair. So it might be where you would use your drawing tool to kind of draw out someone's face. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to create a solid shape of that area so that you can apply the rhinestone feature. Now, those who have fairer skin and darker hair, it's a little bit easy. And then, of course, our eyes are like, their eyes might be dark. It's a little bit easier to pick up on those features by just, making it black and white, upping your contrast so that you can then trace. But someone like, her and her face, her skin tone and her hair is too close together. Like there's no contrast. So it'll be a little bit harder to do that. I would have to, in this case, draw them out. Because even if I go into like a photo editing, I would have to go in, make it black and white, adjust a lot of levels and curves. And I may end up having to do like 2 or 3 different like layers of it so that I can capture different parts of her face. It's not something that's just a click of a button. Doing that is not something that is simply a click of a button. Let's see. Hello, honey. Can you blur or feather photo edges? No, you cannot. Because it is a vector-based program, you are not able to feather out or blur in a vector-based program because it's not based off of pixels. That's why we use masking as long as the background is the same color. So let's say, okay, you see how her legs are cut off. I'm going to take this K right here, right? And I'm going to go to library. I'm going to bring in this orange fade. Well, actually, it was already right here. Duh, Shakia. It's going to take forever now. I got to wait for that to open up. And the fade was already right there. I could have used that one. And so if you are able to design in Canva and other programs, that means you understand design. Where your learning gap is understanding the tools and functions. Canva is plug and play. To be honest, Canva is plug and play. You're pulling in elements from, their library. You're bringing that in. Even when it comes to like those little fades, you're limited in what you can do with those fades. You have to use 30,000 of those fades in Canva to blur something off. But in Photoshop, you have a brush and you would be able to, so I'm going to move. Okay, let's go here. Let's change the background color. I'm sorry, I know I'm all over the place right now, but it opened up. So I'm going to bring this to the front. So see how I can put this here and it can fade off. So this goes back to Shanita Nicole's question. And I can fade this off and make it look like, she's fading. Like I've removed the pixels, but I have not. You cannot alter those pixels. The background has to match. If it was a different color, if it was that other shade of orange, you would see the difference. Okay. But now if we go over, I thought I opened up Photoshop. I guess I didn't. So we'll let that open up and then I'll show the difference over there. What's the site for our classes? So you can enroll in our classes one of 2 ways. You can go straight to our main site, shop.hsink365.com. shop.hsink365.com. Okay. Here, you will, if you enroll in a class here, you're going to build up your rewards points that can go towards additional classes. It can go towards purchasing sublimation paper, digital files. Hell, I've actually had someone pay for a one-on-one session with me with their rewards points they had built up over time. So anything that's available on the website, you are able to utilize your rewards points, and every purchase adds to your rewards points. So we have some of our main ones. If you just kind of come down, like I said, our Essentials of Silhouette Studio, our Bachelors of Silhouette Science, let's see, our foam board creations program. Then of course there are some classes and things down here. But if you go right here to classes and playbacks, you're going to see a lot more, classes and things here. We've had some that have left the site because they are like a couple years old. But all the classes are here. You hit load more. You're going to see some more on here. Okay. And Photoshop is, did I go past it? Oh, right there. So there is the Photoshop one. And you get access. So with that one, we did 8 weeks, maybe like a year or so ago. We just did another round of it. So when you enroll, you'll get access to both rounds of Essentials to just learn from them. So different questions that people ask, I kind of switched up a little bit when it came to different things. Like I think we focused on, we had a lot of, WNBA like images that I kind of use as reference. And we did some with the Celtics, I think it was. So you get, you kind of get some idea of like designing and things of that nature in the Photoshop Essentials program. And you get 2 rounds. So 2 separate 8-week sessions of learning when you purchase that for just $123.65. I'm sorry. Now, when you purchase classes here, unless it was something where it was a part of a bigger class and you'll receive emails with like where like playbacks and like downloads and stuff, whenever you purchase a class here, it will take you to, it won't take you to, you have to go over to our actual Academy site. This is where all of the classes are hosted at. This is where your dashboard is and where you will be able to access all of your classes. So let's say if I go, I'm just going to go to my dashboard and I'm going to type in Photoshop. All right. And we'll go in here. I hate when that happens. Now I got to change my password. Okay, I'm changing that right now. Damn it. Now I have to go in and change the password to get into my groups. Hold on. Just know that if anybody sends a request to join Student Union, you will not be approved until we verify it, because I hate when that happens. Damn it, I hate when that happens. But as you can see here, you have the previous sessions, and then we have the 2024 sessions. So you get access to all of these sessions. And there is a video that will be the whole thing straight through. And then we also break them down into individual like parts, and you can go straight to that. Okay. So all of your classes are here on your dashboard. So our classes vary depending on what it is that you're wanting to learn. We have a sublimation bootcamp or sublimation seminar that goes over just about everything. So right here, our sublimation seminar for beginners and beyond. This has a lot of information. We're going to have kind of a condensed version of this. I'm going to give you guys just a little hint. We have one that's coming up for Black Friday. It will be on sale for Black Friday, but the class won't take place until December, where we're going over sublimation. It's kind of a condensed version. This was 6 days. It's going to be like the true basics of it. So be on the lookout for that. But we have like our sublimation seminar, and depends on what it is like that you want to learn. Once you learn essentials and you kind of have an idea, people move to different things. Some people want to learn silhouette because they want to be able to create their own vector design. So they'll take this one. There are some that want to improve how they design for memorial designing. We've done switch up. So there's a lot of different classes that you can take. And once you purchase our classes, you have lifetime access to the playback. So there is no rush in how you how you learn from them. There we go. How do you make a kiss cut with a die cut also? Okay, so for that, you will need to have a second outline. So I'll just use a star for this example. So let's say this was our main one. You're just going to do a offset, okay? And you make that offset as big or as small as you want it to be. The best thing to do is to change the line color of that offset. For me, I typically tend to use red in this first purple. Literally, it can be any color. It doesn't have to be. It can be this green. It does not matter. When you go to send, you are not going to use simple. If you don't know, this is why I teach these classes the way that I do. A lot of people that teach about using your Cameo, they don't go over these. There are so many people who have had Cameos for a really long time, and they have never, ever, ever clicked off of simple. This is where Silhouette First Cuts comes into play. I get down to the basics. The things that you guys want to rush past, but you still end up having to come back to, I focus on that from the beginning. So you don't want to click on simple. Simple is going to cut it's either no cut, cut edges. You have line and you have fill. So because I don't have a color here, but if like there was other elements that I also didn't have color in, it would not work. But if I go to fill, I have orange and I have no color. These two right here, the material needs to be different. One needs to cut deeper than the other. So in this case, my orange, I don't, me personally, I don't use any of the presets. In my class, I kind of go over it and I break down. Okay, so once you click on a preset, I got to come off of, hold on. It's on my 4, so it's not going to let you see it. I have to switch it to my Cameo 2 so that you can see the settings. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. So let's switch. Oh, it's not going to show it to me because everything shut down. My 2 wasn't connected. This is one of the things I also despise about the Cameo 4, with it being Bluetooth. If it's not on, I can't really see the settings. So that's a question I'll have to answer in another video, to really show you like the settings and stuff. And you just want to look and see what they are, what the blade is, what the blade depth is, and what the speed is, how many passes it is. But they have to be different. Like you can literally select anything here. When those settings come up, you can move them to whatever you want. But in order for you to do kiss and die cut, the inside one has to be a lighter cut and the outside one is a deeper cut. So whether it is by fill, but normally when you do by fill, if you have like a pattern or something like that there, it doesn't quite work. So whenever I'm doing them, I do it by line color and I go, whatever the line colors are there, whatever the line color is for the inside one is the one that's kiss cut. And then the outside one is the deeper cut. So that's how you would do that. And you are right. I have taken Photoshop in person and they barely went into basics. And even being computer savvy, I got lost after a while. Oh, trust me, I know. Our classes are not like that. You will feel like an expert without even doing a design. You will understand how to do different, like how the tools and functions work. So then if you understand design, you'll be able to pull all that together. And we're always here to help. So with our classes, you're able to post questions under the videos. You get access to our student union where you can ask questions in the student union. And if it's something that I can do a video 15 minutes or less, I'll do like help videos for you in the student union based off of your specific question. Join Creative Lounge. So that's something that you have to join directly from our Academy site. So you have to go to 365 Creative Academy. The link is in the description of this video. And it's called Creative Lounge. We're not learning the fan part of it, but the design part of it. The photo collage will be taught this month. We do design challenges every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And photo collages for letters and numbers is one of the sessions this month. Now, if you want to learn how to put the fans together and all of that, that is a separate class that we did. We normally do the fans like graduation season time because that's when people ask about them. This year, with other people, there has been an uptick in like senior fans or like for sports and stuff like that. It's been an uptick in those, like for spirit fans. But we normally kind of teach fans around graduation. So the designs are graduation based. So that's why I'm teaching the fans in a different way in Design Challenge. And then if you want to know how to put them together, all you need is just the assembly part of the grad fans class. But right here, Creative Lounge, it is a monthly subscription, but you get access to so much. Even if you just stay for that first month, you get all of October and everything else that was in there, and then you'll still get to attend all of the live November sessions. I can cut letters. It is when the design edges are too intricate to cut. Again, for what though? What are you trying to cut? Oh, like cutting out the hair in your current design. So what, again, are you trying to do printable transfers? Are you trying to make a sticker? What is it that you're trying to cut? You're welcome. Canva is very easy, plug and play for sure. I just need to slow down and take time to really learn it. What, Canva or Photoshop? Now, Canva, we're going over the basics. I promise you, if you come to you join Creative Lounge, we have our Canva 101. I will show you things that you probably did not even realize about Canva, because again, it's about going back to the basics and truly understanding. Like what I like to do in my classes, there's so many people that's going to always show you the wonderful things that you can do in Canva, right? Or any design program. They're going to show you all of the great stuff. Oh, you can do this, you can do that. They're going to dangle that little shiny object in front of you. But where the frustration comes in is when you want to do something that's like different, right? Or you think, okay, it's different. I want to be able to do this, this, and this. And you are like, man, why can't you have this idea that this is a super program, that every program should be able to do anything that you want? I'm just choosing this program. And that's not the case. I absolutely love highlighting the things that programs cannot do. That is what sets me apart. I don't think I know of, I'm going to say of anyone, or if it is maybe a few people that actually spend time showing you the things that you cannot do, so that you are not frustrated. You're not wasting time trying to do something that program will never, ever, ever, ever do. We see things online and you're just like, oh my God, like, okay, yeah, I use Canva. I have to be able to do this in Canva. Nowadays, people assume that every design that they see was designed in Canva, and that's not the case. There are some things that have to be done in other programs because it simply can't be done in that one. Like in Photoshop, you see how I'm going to go back to here. You see how I have these sharp lines, like these sharp edges for the offset? Guess what? You can't do that by just putting an offset or just putting a stroke. You cannot do that in Photoshop. It's going to automatically round it off. So there are limitations to every single program. And I love showing the limitations, because that is, to me, the best way to not waste time. I find that a lot of creators, a lot of crafters, they end up spending too much time designing because they're trying to force a program to do something that it will not do. And they just don't understand it. Like yesterday, someone was asking, their question was just, hey, how do I remove black from a background? No pictures with it, no nothing, right? So everyone's coming in saying, use the back. You have to have Pro in Canva. Use the background remover. If that one doesn't work, go to BG remove.bg. Oh, you have to do this. No one bothered to ask, hey, can I see the picture? Because you cannot simply remove the background from every single image. You just can't. So I'm like, okay, hey, I explained that you cannot. If I see the picture, I can let you know. So because she kept saying, well, I've been trying it. I can't get a clean removal. And she's going to keep trying it over and over and over and over again before she came to the group. And then the group without seeing what she's trying to work on, they're just throwing stuff out there. She probably went back, tried this. It's still not working. Why? Because it's impossible. Once she posted the picture, baby girl, that's not going to work. Now, you can remove the background and it will remove it around this, and this. But for this white part, you're going to have to recreate it or go find like the lines of a football field and put that behind it. But simply to remove the background and be able to utilize this as is, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So I like highlighting the things that you cannot do, because that's going to also get you to your goals a whole lot faster. You don't waste time on the things that work perfectly. The things that stop you are the things that cannot be done. And if they can never be done, you're going to feel like you are the failure in this. You are like, something's wrong with you. Why can't you figure it out? You in your mind, you are seeing all of these people creating all of this amazing stuff. Why can't you? Well, you're using the wrong program. That's why I highlight using Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, and now kind of like Canva. I use different programs. On average, to create a design, I can go and filter through at least 5 different programs to do things, like to do something for one project. All right, let's see. Is this open? All right, there we go. All right, perfect. This is open. I'm going to come right here and I'm going to put on layer mask, right? And the box has to be over the mask. If it's here, the white box, I'm not sure if y'all can see it. So if it's there and I go to my brush, oh, well, it's not going to do it on this one because this is a smart object. So it won't do it on that one. And that's another thing too, right? So understanding your smart objects and how they work. We have a whole day dedicated to that in the essentials to know what you have to do, what's going to happen, what you can change, what you can't change when something is a smart object. Well, when you want to alter it, what do you have to do? Okay. So I can't really brush over it for this particular one. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's duplicate this layer. And okay. So now if I'm here and I go like this, I'm just adding black on top of this. I've permanently changed these pixels. If I move this around, you see the black is with it. Okay. I cannot undo this. If I want to go in and brush it, I cannot brush back the glitter. So I'm going to undo this. But if I was on the layer mask, the box has to be around the layer mask. And I go in and I brush. Oh, wait, let's turn you off. You see what happens? So let's say I did want black underneath there. I'm going to go solid color. It's on black. I'm going to drop this down here, right? If I took off too much, well, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to switch this to white, and I'm going to be able to bring those pixels back. So masking just covers it up. It does exactly what a mask in real life does. We put on a mask, we're covering up our face. We can take that mask off. You can put the mask on, you can take it off. Black is putting the mask on, white is taking the mask off. If you bring in an image, so let's go open, let's bring in, let's go to downloads. Let's see if I have a picture here. So let's say, okay, I'm just going to bring, since I had that one open, I'm just going to bring this one in, right? So if I tell it to remove the background on here, right? It's going to create a mask. It's going to mask off everything else in the background. But if I wanted to bring back any part of that, I could. So you see over here now, we see a lot of black and we see white in the middle. The black is masked off, the white is revealed. I'm going to go to my brush, and if I bring that, so I can go and bring back in part of the design, but not all of it. It left a part right here. I would flip that and I would mask that off. Now, this is too big. In my classes, I teach you when to reduce the size of your brush, when to change the hardness. There is a use for it being super soft, where the hardness is all the way down to 0. maybe the hardness is in the middle somewhere versus no hardness, like no softness whatsoever. It's a hard line. Depending on what it is that you're designing and how you want to clean up those edges, you have to know where to move this to. That is what I focus on in my classes for you to understand it. Some people are just going to show you masking. They're going to tell you, okay, yeah, increase your brush size. A lot of people don't go over hardness and when to adjust that and how to adjust that. So I'm going to probably come in here. We'll make this a little bit smaller so that I can really get in there and I'm not altering her image, because it did remove some of those pixels. So that's that. I'm not sure if this is a design question, but can you digitize design to use with, not in Silhouette Studio? So you can create a vectorized version of it, which will make it easier and faster for someone that does digitizing and they have the digitizing software, because it already has points and like it's already a shape, but you cannot actually digitize in Silhouette Studio. No, you cannot. Is there a way to control changing the color of a blur other than the image? Wait, no, that's the only way. So it doesn't have it where like over in Photoshop where you can adjust. Well, you can change the hue and saturation of it. You can change the intensity of it. Yes, but they're all separate. Even over here, if I had something and I wanted to change the colors, I have to alternate between brightness and contrast. I have to alternate between, changing hue and saturation, vibrancy. So they're all separate ones. It will be the same thing for Silhouette Studio if you're wanting to adjust this. So if you wanted a different shade of orange, you can adjust your contrast. That's going to make it, different. Different tones or different shades. You can adjust your saturation. You can adjust the brightness of it. And then I'm going to hit apply. Then I can come over to gamma. I can make that more intense or darker. I can bring down the gamma and see it went yellow from there. But just like any program, if you're trying to really adjust the color, you're adjusting things like saturation, brightness, contrast, gamma, or different levels. An image on a t-shirt. I want to cut around edges of a design so the image is not a square. So that just depends on what you're using for your background. Like I know you mentioned as far as like her hair, the way she was and her hair, that's not something that would be like super difficult because of the like. Now, would I go in and try and get all of like this part of her hair? Absolutely not. I mean, if I wanted to have that, it would just be a line to the outside. But that means in this area here, which I'm going to just copy, I'm going to make this white and I'm just going to put front. Oh, I never traced and detached her. Okay, hold on. So let's trace and detach. So when I cut around it, you would see white, but that would be the line that it cuts. So if you're wanting it to be closer to it and not have all of that, then this is where edit points come into play. Those things that a lot of you guys run from, edit points, you have to dedicate the time to actually practice. And my students know, I don't recommend that you practice within a design. You need to just do the actual practice assignments, practice tracing around those elements that you understand how they move. Because when you go and you put it and the first thing you're doing to like practice is on your project and you're on a time crunch for that, it's not going to be good. It's going to be disastrous. So I would, in this case, go in, I'm going to delete most of these points, and then I will bring them back so that I have a cleaner line around her hair. I will attempt to get some of the curls, so I don't want that part. I'm going to go out. But there's never going to be a way to get like the inside of curls and stuff like that. You want to create a solid line around it. So this is one of those things where you're frustrated and you want to be able to cut around it, but it's something that's going to be virtually impossible. There's not going to be a way for you to go in here. These are light pixels. You're not going to be able to get a trace for it to be and go in, like, unless it was like really, really, really solid. And you can have those areas there. But like wispy and anything that's blurred off, you're not going to be able to do that. So you were frustrated about something that's impossible to do. You have to go and basically create it like this, where you would have the outline. Is it soft on the edges? No. But vector, if you're this other thing too, right? If you are cutting anything, get your mind off of any type of soft edges. If you're cutting something, that means it's a defined line, a defined path, and you can have movement as far as waving, going in and out, but it is going to be solid. You cannot capture faded pixels in any type of design. So Creative Lounge is not necessarily about full-on design. That's what we have all of our other classes from. In Creative Lounge, we put our design challenges in Creative Lounge, just for you guys to kind of get in the room. But our pro calls, Creative Lounge is more so about helping you. So when you're kind of going through these things and you've tried different things out, you have questions. I like doing these like live sessions, but also where you guys can share your screen. You can talk to me in real time. Creative Lounge gives you access to those Zoom sessions where you can come like, hey, this is what I'm working on. I can't figure this out. Like, how would I do this picture with this hair or whatever? You share your screen, whatever program it is. I'm helping you work through that. And then we do have some dedicated like sessions and things like that. Canva is not right now one of the main things that I teach. I'm kind of soft launching into that by making that a part of Creative Lounge. So we're going to go through like Canva Essentials, Canva 101 next week, Monday. So you do kind of get the design component, but it's also like you kind of have to know some of these programs already. Like I don't break down the basics. If you want the basics, you have to enroll in the Essentials classes. But we've had topics on business and, improving your social media, websites. Last month, we went through the truths about DTF, like some of these questions that you have and you're searching for like information on videos. On YouTube, I'm giving you that information. So I showed them exactly how like once you submit your DTF print, what is that printer doing to be able to print this out? And it helped them understand their designs and how they have to set it up. We went through the 15 different ways to decorate garments. This month, we're going to have a discussion on non-garment things. So when we talk about other types of crafts, if it's paper crafting, if it's, like just talk about the different things that you can do with like sublimation. Those 15 ways to decorate a garment, I literally can go and do a session and break down all of those. And let's just have a discussion about embroidery. What does it mean to digitize? Different things like that. So it's just a way for you to get, some foundational information on business, on designing, on different crafts and things like that. It's just having a real conversation with myself, other creatives, learn from their experiences, their perspectives, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. We encourage you to share because your experience can also help someone else. So it's just a creative community. The girl's background would be the t-shirt color before my image will be, wait, huh? The girl's background would be the t-shirt color before my images will, I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're trying to say. Okay, let's say if this was to go on a shirt, which I gotta hurry up because I gotta go get MJ before I go get Zion Imani. I'm gonna merge this in, and I'm gonna merge in the and also I don't understand why in the craft community squares are such this faux pas type deal. There are designs from professional companies that are sold in the stores that's a square. Not sure why crafters like shy away from it so much. It just depends on the type of design that it is. I've done photo collages, and that has to be like, it's almost like a box. It just really depends on the look that you're going for. Now, if you are someone where you're like, for your business, you don't like squares. Just because you may not like it doesn't mean that your clients may have an issue with it. If you are in business, please, please, please remember that you guys are not doing business for you. You are at the service of your clients, your customers. It is about what kind of sort of what they want. Now, if for you and your business, you're like, hey, we don't design that way. That's not what we want our brand, like that's not the work that we want to put out for our brand, our company. Thank you for considering us. We just don't design that way. I've done that before. There are certain things that I will not do. And I don't, because I have made up in my mind, it's something that I won't do. I'm not trying to always like overly convince the customer. Otherwise, I'm okay with that sale going bye-bye because that's not a customer for me. I am not the person that feels like I have to be able to have every customer. I have to appeal to every single customer. That's not me. There are things where I will turn down in a heartbeat because it's not what we do. So if that's for you and you were like, I don't desire to create inside of a box. I want to be able to create full designs, like full bleed sublimation shirts, because that's the only way that it's not going to look like a box. Or I want to create, DTF. I want to have like different backgrounds. I'll do distress. Now, if you're saying for your company, that's your non-negotiables. You may want a box. So the customer is wanting, hey, I want a design in this square on this shirt. If that's a non-negotiable for your company, your side hustle, however you're doing, setting yours up, then you politely tell them, hey, we're not able to facilitate that. But now, if they're asking for, or they don't mind it, and you're just simply refusing to do it because like you think they don't like it, but they're not saying that, then you could be hurting yourself. All right, where my shirts went? Okay, they're up here. Now, if someone, you see how this is her background, this picture, right? As an all over shirt, if you were to take this, like let's say if it did fit, it doesn't quite fit on here, but let's say if it did fit, a shirt has defined edges. That design could be in a square. It doesn't have to have, movement to the edges, because the shirt edge will provide as the edge of it. You only have to worry about that if it's only in the middle. But there are people, like there are customers, there are major companies that will go and they will do this. Some people see it as being like cheap. It's homemade. Like they consider that to be like homemade. If you go into the stores, there are companies that have them. I know like the Aaliyah shirts. There's one that my brother had, and it's a black and white picture of Aaliyah, of the singer Aaliyah, and she's in a box, and it just says Aaliyah. Like I think it's like in script or something like that. Somebody may want this, and you'll put the information on it, and they are fine with this full picture because they like the background. They may not want distress. Some people want to utilize their shirt as the canvas, as the frame for a picture. This is not this bad thing. I'm not understanding where crafters got this notion that you can never do this, that you have to doctor up the outside, that you have to put an outline around it, that you have to distress it. Not sure where that came from. Now, if that's not the look that you want to go, that you want, then I get it. But it's not to say that it is wrong. That's my whole point. It's okay if it doesn't work for you and that's your preference to not have a box. But it's not that it is wrong or cheap or because it's a box that you should be charging less. Okay? When it comes to cutting your image and you're wanting to do designs like that, you have to be creating. So you would not be able to have this background. You would have to do a background remover. You will have the ball, you will have her image, and you're now going to add different text to it so that you can cut around it. That is where understanding the type of design, like understanding different types of designs, different compositions, different layouts. What is your intended purpose? What's the result that you want? So you can have this where she's all cut out and you're going to add text. Now, if she was cut out, I'll tell you where I now have I take issue with, right? To me, like this, her elbow would not be an issue for me, right? Because I know that she's inside of this box. It's a part of it. It's cut off. But now, if I were to go and remove the background, her elbow, baby, what I cannot ever have is an elbow sitting just cut off in the middle of a shirt. Where her legs are cut off at, baby, it's going to be some text. It needs to be faded. It's going to be distressed. It's going to be something there. Now, that is a non-negotiable for me. I'm not going to put my name on nothing where an elbow is cut off. Either you're going to give me another picture. Now with AI, you can kind of draw that back in, especially like in Photoshop. I would probably go in there and use generative fill, and they'll fill it in with somebody else's arm. Canva will do the same thing now, filling it in. So there are ways to kind of build an arm, there. But if not, something's going to go there. It's going to be leaned up against something. It's going to be hidden on something so that it doesn't look like it's cut off. That's a non-negotiable for me. There's never been a design where it will be somebody's picture, their legs are cut off, their arm is cut off, and it's just sitting in the middle of an image. That's not going to happen. It needs to be finished. That's my personal preference, that it needs to look finished. This to me, even if it's just like this, people have asked, I want this picture on a shirt just like this. I will gladly either print it out with Jet Pro 3G or I'm going to sublimate it and give it to them just like that. But if I remove this background, oh baby, something got to be added to this, okay? Can I do an all over shirt in this live video? No, but from Slut Studio, yes, you can. I have done videos. We had a whole class where we went over oversized designs, such as, basically like shirts. So this was the oversized designs. I teach you how to get a proper template for the shirt that you are using, because it's not universal. Some people use these universal templates and then things are cut off. People's heads are cut off, eyeballs are cut off. It's too big. The words are, you have words and stuff. It's too high up on the collar. That's being cut off. You have to know how to size it for the shirt that you will use, which is why when I go into teaching business, there's a lot of crafters. Crafters try out a bunch of different shirts. You're still in craft mode when you're trying out a bunch of different shirts. Someone that's running a business, they are going to have dedicated shirts that they order. People are like, oh, what's the best shirt? Baby, I can't tell you what's the best shirt. I know the shirts I've tested and the shirts I have, not say settled on, but the shirts that I use. If it's not Team 365 or Sports Tech, I can't help you. I've tried out a whole bunch of them. It's been many, many years. These are the ones that work for me. I know sizes. I know templates and things for Team 365, unisex and ladies V-neck cut. And I know it for Sports Tech. Anything outside of that, I can't help you. I mean, I can help you figure it out, but I can't give you like exact numbers and things like that because I run a business. I'm not going to be trying to figure out all of these different shirts and chasing after sales. My prices are based off of the shirts that I use. In business, you need to have constants, things that are the same. All these different variables makes it very hard. This is why you can't figure out your true profits for a lot of crafters who are monetizing their skill sets because it's this shirt, that shirt, this shirt, all these different things. Oh, well, I can't find this. I'm gonna go get this one, but this shirt costs $10, but I was only paying $5 before. But then you want to go and up the cost. Okay, well, this shirt was just $25. Why are you now charging me $30? Oh, well, this shirt costs more. Well, can I get the shirt that I had last time? I like that shirt. Oh, well, I don't. You don't have any consistency to business. Business is about repeating the same thing. It's duplicatable. That's what makes for a great business. So when you are in business and you're deciding to charge someone, hopefully you have your good, better, best, and you know, like that makes it easier to price out. She says, now understand what to do. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to try doing HTV with embroidery next. So if that is something that you want to do, you have to make sure that both parts of those things are designed in the same program. So if you want to do the text, you will go and do that. You will have to create. So I'll show you, like, I'll give you kind of an example. I'll go back to that star, right? So let's say our stitch line will be here. If you're wanting it to stitch around that HTV, you have to, you know, basically create that. Now, this might be a little bit too big. I'm going to move this. We're going to go offset. Let's bring this down some. And then on this, because I want it to stitch over it, I'm going to do an internal offset so that when it stitches, it's actually going to go over the edge. All right. And depending on how wide they do their stitch, you may have to just do the internal one, but everything needs to be done in one file. So we're going to move that. This becomes a compound path. So what I would send to my digitizing software, if you have software to create create your stitches, or you're going to send it to someone and pay someone to digitize, they don't necessarily need this part because this is the HTV cut. They need this, and you have to send it to them at the exact size and let them know, like, well, for me, I'm going to send it to my people for them to know that this is the exact size I want. I try to make it where it is whole numbers. That way it matches up once you bring it back in. Or you can send them both, because let's just say, actually, it might be better for you to send them both. That way, if they're designing it and something does change, you still have this piece. So when you now bring in that file with your, because this will come in not filled in with color, it'll just be a solid line, because this is what they do like for appliques. So they'll have this one that will be your stitch one, and now you'll have this one that matches up with it, and then you can like size it and stuff like that. So you'll be able to cut it and then have your embroidery file for stitching over it. But they need to be designed together and then submitted to your digitizer, or for you to put in your software for digitizing. All right. We've been on for an hour and a half. I got to go pick up the kiddos. Thank you guys so very much for all of your questions. We do have the design challenge tonight. I'm prepared to teach all three. I probably will let them decide, because I put out a post and I was like, hey, which one should we teach? We're going to do all three, but it's between like ways of designing the TV trays, ornaments, and the photo collage. So I'm prepared to teach all three of those. I will end up letting them decide if I don't decide myself tonight based off of like different posts and stuff that I have out there. You are more than welcome to join. You can jump right in the way that we teach. Anyone can come in, even if you don't quite understand any of the programs, because I'm not going to teach you everything about every single every single tool and function, but you will have a full understanding of the tools and functions that we are going to use for that particular design. Because I break it down and I try and do, I do, we do, you do. If you are, if you really want to learn, I encourage my students to do the we do. It is best if you have a second monitor to be able to watch the screen on one and then be able to kind of like do it on yours. If you try and do a split screen, it's going to be hard to see. If it's not a lot of people in the room, there are times where people will log in from like a phone and a computer, that way or a tablet, that way they can watch the video part of what I'm clicking on one, and then they can try it on their own. But the way that I technically teach it, I go through everything first, right? Which is the I do. That way, those who don't need as much hand holding, they can watch that back and they can figure it out and they can follow design because they already know, because this is not about how to use the program. It's about how to bring the tools together to create designs. So there are some, when I do that first one, they're going to stop right there. They don't really need to see all the extras and all the questions. They're able to figure it out from that part. Then we do what's called we do. I do it, then I have you do it. So once you are like, you don't have to see my screen. So I'll go through it and then I'll give you time for you to bring your screen up and you can go through and do it. Now, if you end up having a question and need to kind of see and do it at the same time, this is where a second monitor would be best. Design challenges, yes, they are in the all design challenges are a part of the Creative Lounge. It is $45.63 for the first month, and then it goes down from there. It's only $25.63 each additional month. That first month, it's a little bit higher because you get so much information, and then the second month, it goes down by a lot. So, and that's the cost as of right now. Once you get in, you're locked in at whatever price. We have some people that are locked in from when it was $15.63. So the sooner you get in, the sooner you hear about it and you get in, the better it is for you. Okay? All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.